Tenor, experts in bladder weakness and incontinence for over 40 years.
Dr. Tani Lombard is a dietitian and manager of the Nutritional Information Center at the University of Stellenbosch. She offers advice on how nutrition can influence bladder weakness and incontinence.
Hi Madani, how is food related to urinary incontinence or weak bladder?
Ayanda, there's 3 nutritional factors that play a role. The first thing is obesity. Because the extra fat around your tummy actually presses on your bladder, which causes the incontinence. The second thing is constipation, and that once again is also pressure on the bladder, but it is from the colon side. And then the third thing is diuretics, which is something that forces your body to make extra urine.
What are the main culprits?
Firstly, there's tobacco smoking and too much alcohol consumption. We also have obesity and poor dietary habits. Then there is poor hygiene habits and also being inactive. So as you can see, everything is lifestyle related.
Show me a few irritants and some good alternatives.
The best place to show you is in the kitchen.
Surprisingly, reducing your fluid intake can actually irritate the bladder by making urine more concentrated. It's best to continue drinking 6 to 8 glasses of water every day to keep the bladder healthy and functioning optimally.
Which foods are usually associated with bladder irritation?
There's quite a few foods. The first one and the most important one, I think, is caffeine. And it's important for us to go low caffeine as well as low alcohol because those are diuretics. And diuretics is food sources that force your body to produce more urine. Then also, we like to go low fat, so fatty foods needs to be excluded. Another thing to avoid is acidic foods. And that is usually tomato concentrated, like tomato paste, tomato sauce products, and also other acidic fruits like pineapples and oranges and naartjies. The last thing that I think is important for us to avoid is sweetness because it can cause irritation with the bladder.
And if I wanted to go for a healthier option, which foods would I start substituting?
Well, the first thing we can do is to go low fat. For instance, instead of having chicken that's with the skin and high in fat, you can go for the chicken breast that's low in fat without the skin. When it comes to pasta, it's better to rather use whole wheat pasta instead of refined pasta and to avoid tomato-based pasta sauces. And also, instead of using soups that is processed, to rather go with the fresh, natural ingredients and start from scratch.
You can substitute things like pasta for steamed rice, trade coleslaw for a green salad, and swap your usual ice cream dessert for a fresh fruit kebab.
So let's make a really healthy apple dessert.
Okay.
You can cut the apples in slices for us in the meantime. And then what I have here, and I'm going to put this all in the blender, half a cup of raisins. I have half a cup of almonds and half a cup of cashew nuts. Then we add half a cup of carrot juice, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then we blend everything together. And then when everything is done, we add the apples in the bowl and we put the paste over the apples. We sprinkle some cinnamon over and we pop it in the oven.
Alternatively, you can bake the apples with raisins and cinnamon and serve with the blended nut cream once the apples come out of the oven. It's a delicious variation of a classic dessert.
No sugar, no pastry, really good.
Yeah.
So if you were to give 3 tips as to how we can go about changing our diets to help with our bladder, what would you give?
The most important things that I would say for a healthy bladder is to avoid alcohol, low caffeine intake, and a healthy diet. A lot of people are embarrassed by incontinence, and it's not something that is a big issue. We can do something about it easily.
We're giving away a sample of Tenor products. To enter, SMS Tenor to 33728. That's Tenor to 33728. T's and C's apply.
Tenor, experts in bladder weakness and incontinence for over 40 years.